Dun 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 dun. Yo. We are live almost. All right. What do we got here? Pop out chat. Anybody in here? Nope. Yo, what's up, boys? What the fuck is up? All right, we are live. Sorry for the awkwardness. It's gonna be the biggest show you've ever seen, Cameron. B-Max, Cam, Fizz, what is up, boys? Welcome. Was just trying to set up this damn chat. How are you guys doing, man? On this fine Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday morning for you guys, probably. All right, let's put that there. It's going to be the greatest, the biggest show you've ever seen. Fizz, Cam, B-Mags in the motherfucking house. You know what it is, guys? The weekly Sunday afternoon beer. The vape at the ready. Loaded. We're gonna do some matchups, guys. We're gonna go through each game. We're gonna do something a little bit different, dude. We're gonna up the production quality, the production value. We're gonna turn this into a real Sunday live stream. Slowly. We'll get there slowly, man. The goal is to potentially actually give a little bit more value than just sit starts on Sunday, right? So that's kind of the thinking behind it. But welcome, guys. Thank you for being here, man. How are you guys doing going into Sunday? I guess that's my question for you guys. Did anybody start Quentin Johnston and is now feeling like a turd? Because I almost traded for Quentin. Quentin, darling. Thank God I didn't. Or is our early clown show game? It's coming. Better than the Texans starting offense. They are down horrendous at the moment. What are they starting? Hutchinson, Jalen Noel, and a combination of Jalen Noel and Braxton Berrios. And let's see if Jaden Higgins can do some stuff, man. I feel like Jaden Higgins might. Everybody's looking over here, looking at the left with the misdirect, and then Jaden Higgins might have himself a big game because Jaden Higgins is actually the more natural replacement for Nico Collins, right? So I think Higgins might actually be a pretty decent beneficiary. We'll see, though. We have an actual question here from our boy. Oh, the Euro games, Fizz? I think there's a couple Germany games coming soon, right? Let's see. Frankfurt NFL games. Are there none in Frankfurt this year? Let's see. NFL games in Germany. I used to work at a company that was like in the sports industry here in Germany, and I was offered tickets to go to some of the NFL games in Germany. I unfortunately couldn't go because of the day that it fell on. I had constraints. Yeah, it looks like there's a Berlin game. Oh, nice. Falcons Colts on the 9th of. It's kind of interesting that there's kind of like a lull. You get all the London games, all like the Western or the non-EU European games in London and in the UK. And then you have like a couple weeks, and then you have the Germany games. I wonder why they do that. Let's get Kevin some help, dude. Bears or Buccaneers DST? So Kevin Turner, I'm gonna teach you how to fish, man. I could just give you who I would start, but it's better to teach you how to fish. So you want to start the Bears. They're going up against the Ravens with no Lamar Jackson. Currently, the Ravens are still a 2.5-point favorite. That is kind of silly. Buccaneers DST, they're going up against the Saints. Bucks are a 4.5-point favorite with a 45.5 over under. We're going to go to fantasy points against. We're going to look at some defenses, and we're going to see who's given up the most points. Looks like the Saints are giving up 7 points on average to defenses, while the what was the other team? The Ravens, correct? The Ravens are a little bit better at 7.17. Let's look at the last couple weeks, just a better. The Ravens, man, the Ravens are giving up 17 fantasy points a game the last 2 weeks to opposing defenses. Start the Bears. Start the Bears. I know the Bucs seem like a better matchup, but the Bears defense has been playing really well. They're missing a couple guys in their secondary for sure, but I think that would have mainly been a problem against Lamar. So I would start anyone against the Ravens, it looks like. While if you were to start what was the other one you had? Anyway, I'd start the Bears personally, Kevin. Cooper Rush is absolutely horrendous. The Saints can actually move the ball a little bit, right? I don't think the Bucs are like a team that really gets a lot of takeaways. I don't think they score a lot of fantasy points, right? Let's. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this defense question, but Kevin Turner might not even be here anymore. Kevin 2-time. Saints. Yeah, I don't play with defenses. I can't even check. Anyway, I'd go with the Bears. It's Huntley now. Does that actually change anything? Maybe. I feel like Huntley and Rush are interchangeable. I mean, I guess Huntley adds a little bit on the ground. Bush League, dude. Bush League still thinking it was Rush. Yeah, it's Snoop. 49ers line, Cam. Somebody knows something we do not know, my friend. I will say this. The Houston Texans defense has been really good, dude. Really good. Really good in all aspects. Fantasy points against. I love using this one here, Draft Edge. DraftEdge.com, one of my favorite ones. Nicely visualized. You can see everything. Houston's defense is across the board number 1 against QBs, number 14. Can you guys see everything? I hope you guys can see well. Yeah. Number 5 against tight ends, 6 against wide receivers, 14 against running backs. So I guess running backs are the only slight weakness that they have. Damn. Amsterdam Admirals versus the Berlin Rhine Fire. Dude, I love how the EFL, the European Football League, they always have like, what is it called when you use words with the same letter? Somebody knows. Somebody in the chat knows. Alliteration? No. Is it alliteration? occurrence of the same letter or sound. Okay, so I had it. Thank God, dude. Oh, that would have been. I love how European teams always have alliteration. It's like the Amsterdam Admirals, the Berlin Boondogs, or like they love the cringe sports. Their mascots are always like positivity and really cool pirates and stuff like that. Let's go. Rush isn't starting. Yeah, you guys got me. I like the Bears D. Atlanta Indy, but Bengals are a secret weapon. Bengals are a secret weapon, man. That is true. Otten for the money, definitely. Jackson Gontos, what's up, dude? Welcome back, man. I think I remember you from last week. Bears defense over Atlanta's. So Atlanta also similar to the Texans across the board are like top 3 in every category. But Atlanta is playing against the Dolphins, who are kind of atrocious. But I'm gonna say this, Jackson, or do you prefer Gontos? The Dolphins are bad. Don't get me wrong, but the Dolphins are a much more capable offense, if that makes sense. Achane can burn. Tua can burn, or not Tua, but Waddle can burn, right? They got some burners on their team, man. So as much as the Falcons have been performing phenomenally thus far, I want to play players against the Ravens, it seems, because of what we saw, right? The Ravens are giving up 17 fantasy points, man, the last 2 weeks on average. So I know it's going to be Snoop now, but Snoop Huntley is not going to suddenly fix the O-line, the D-line. Snoop Huntley is not going to suddenly fix the inefficiency of this offense, right, without Lamar. Even with Lamar, I'm just going to say, man. So Mr. Gontos, B-Mags, you sent a poll in the Discord. My bad, dude. Let's get B-Mags some. Let's see if we can answer B-Mags poll. Where'd you throw it, B-Mags? Was it in the who should I start? Sensei Gontos. Fuck it, B-Mags. We'll just answer it straight from the YouTube chat. Otten, Mooney, or Golden at flex? Otten, Mooney, or Golden? Here's how I start, bro. I start with over-unders. 45.5 for Golden. Mooney has a really nice over-under, if I remember. What's it at now? Well, okay, 44.5 still. And Otten, 45.5. It's pretty much across the board, similar over-unders. I personally would go with Golden here. I would go with Golden with the simple fact that we have a revenge game narrative, Packers Steelers. I have a feeling that this is going to turn into like a higher scoring game than we predict. I know the Packers defense is great, but the Steelers 4-2, they can't afford to give up another game to keep the door open for the Ravens. I feel like this might be the game that Golden finally, he's been on the ascent, dude. And I don't mean from a fantasy point of view, but I feel like Golden's been on the ascent when it comes to just how he looks on tape, dude. He's been looking really good. Like, Mooney is also an interesting start here, but I do think that they're just going to be winning the game by so much, the Falcons, right? Kirk Cousins is just going to go into this game like, I don't want to throw any picks. I know what's going to get my family fed. I know it's going to keep the lights on in my home. And that's giving the ball to Bijan Robinson, to Tyler Algier, and making big time third down throws when needed to Drake London, Kyle Pitts, occasionally Mooney, maybe a couple shots to Mooney. But I think Cousins knows who pays his salary, who signs his checks. It's going to be Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier in this game. The Dolphins are absolutely atrocious against running backs, bro. Go with Golden, man. Otten is also an interesting pick, but if you're not in a tight end premium, right? I know it's tight end day, but I don't know, man. Dude, if it's a Henderson smash game, Cam, I will send you a signed Chase Brown jersey. Oh, dude, German beer, man, nectar of the gods, of every god from every religion. Um, would I change my opinion if Watson is active? Just one more thing to put a cherry on the golden start BMags. The Steelers are actually pretty bad against wide receivers, right? So the Steelers are 23rd worst. They give on average almost 6% more fantasy points to wide receivers. Just to put a small little cherry on top of that, a bow on it, a cherry on top. I don't know. I don't know what the saying is. It wouldn't change my opinion if Watson is active, to be honest. I think Watson, first game off IR, probably a better real life wide receiver than a fantasy option, right? Maybe he gets 2 or 3 targets. Maybe they try to get him going a little bit. Maybe he gets like 20% of the snaps. We just don't know. I've said in a couple videos, man, the Packers seem to be like their number one goal is how do we piss off Matthew Golden owners as much as possible. So knowing that, Watson might come in and just be like a full-time wide receiver and get like fucking 8 targets, dude, and get like a deep bomb touchdown. Kraft gonna get one, probably Mason Taylor or Fannin or both. All right, let's look at it, dude. So Mason Taylor against the Bengals. The Bengals are currently one of the worst against tight ends, if I remember. They are 32nd worst against tight ends, brother. And Justin Fields is playing. I know Justin Fields is kind of butt cheeks, but Mason Taylor, who I'm starting in my main league, in his one game where he had 12 targets against the Cowboys, who were also butt cheeks against tight ends, Justin Fields was his quarterback. So I'm actually kind of like, yo, repeat game script here where Dallas, bad against tight ends, 12 targets, Justin Fields. Cincinnati, bad against tight ends, Justin Fields. No Garrett Wilson. No Josh Reynolds. Probably doesn't matter a lot, but he was their wide receiver too. It's legitimately this. We could see like a 40 target game for Mason Taylor, bro. Justin Fields is going to throw the ball 12 times, and Mason Taylor is going to have 36 targets. So I'd go with Mason Taylor, man. Harold Fannin, the problem is that the Brown. All right, Harold Fannin is great, but the one problem with Harold Fannin is that unfortunately he plays for the Browns, and unfortunately Dylan Gabriel is his quarterback. So he is, it's a catch-22, right? You want to start him because he's good, but you can't because the organization and the quarterback to throw him the ball is just so horrendous. Fields is definitely starting, bro. What are you talking about? Don't tell me. Yeah, Tyrod was ruled out. It's Fields to start Sunday. Cameron, you come into my house, you say my wife's name right. It's Christineth. Down bad in one league at RB2. Pollard or Gainwell, or drop one and grab Chubb or Algier off waivers. Pollard or Gainwell. I'm be honest with you, bro. I'm starting Algier out of those. I'm dropping Gainwell for Algier, and I'm starting him this week. I just hope you can pick Gainwell back up because he's one of the best handcuffs. It's Christineth, Cameron. Dude, I said we're going to go through matchups. Let's go through matchups real quick, man. We'll flip in and out of matchups and then answering questions, dude. Just chatting, talking ball. Miami Dolphins, Falcons. This one is super easy. You're going to start Achane. You're sitting Tua in all circumstances, including, like, if you're debating between Tua and leaving your roster spot empty, I'm probably leaving my roster spot empty. So, Michael Penix, who is not starting, get Kirk Cousins. Let me look at Sleeper. Sleeper's probably better because it tells us who's starting. Yeah, you're starting Achan, you're starting Waddle, but you're very scared about starting Waddle. If you have Waddle, you probably have to start him, but I'd be pretty worried about it, man. I'm honestly worried about this game. I'm worried about the game script for this game. We have an elite defense that's going to want to run, or an elite defense with a Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier combo that's going to want to run the ball with Kirk Cousins, who it's his first start, man. Is he going to be slinging it? Yeah, Tua helped me win last week. The other guy started him. Exactly. When I see Tua Tagovailoa on the opposite on my opponent's team, we party, dude. We party. Yeah, we don't have to talk too much about this team. I want to avoid Miami Dolphins players as much as I can. As I mentioned, dude, the Atlanta just across the board, like running back is their one sieve. But even then, like it's Achan and probably no one else. Like I don't really want to start Waddle, to be honest. Like you might have to, but banged up all week. We saw how Waddle performed against an elite defense last week, and the Falcons are more elite, right? Especially if AJ Terrell is playing, which I believe he is. I don't know how interesting this is going game by game to you guys. Let me know in the chat. By the way, if you guys can be homies, man, like the stream. Like the stream. It is a good way for more peeps to find it. Chicago, Baltimore. Yeah, we might be in garbage time by half. Exactly, Fizz. That's exactly what I'm trying to say, man. It's like we know what the game script or what the plan is going to be. We know that they're just going to want to run the ball. Like, you can even make the case that there's a tiny bit of concern for Bijan, right? I mean, obviously, you're going to start. I mean, he's the top, probably the number one start of the week. But, like, is Bijan going to hit that Rico Dowdle 30-point, fucking the legend Rico Dowdle 30-point type of performance if they're winning by, if they're up 28? So, Mr. Gontos, dude. Sir Gontos, the knighted man. With Ricky Pia, I need a last-minute flex option. I have Wandale in, but I'm scared of that matchup. I would also be scared of the matchup. But I'll say this, Jackson. Wandale's probably going to get Cooper DeJean in the slot, who's a really good slot corner. But it's better than playing whoever's going to be going up against Quinion Mitchell, who, he's back, he's healthy. So typically, when you play against the Eagles, is just what I've seen in the past. You're really scared to start the outside X receiver against the Eagles. You're still a little bit worried about starting the slot wide receiver against DeJean. It's the wide receiver 2 on the other side, opposite of Quinion, that you really want to attack. So that's essentially the order of operations, right? Distributive property is avoid Quinion, try to avoid DeJean, which would be Wandale usually. I believe Wandale plays most of his snaps from the slot. You can pick up somebody off waivers, Boutte, Theo Johnson, Coker. Definitely don't pick up Coker, man. I don't think there's going to be much. I don't think there's going to be a lot of snow this year. I just don't know. Will they bench indie starters? They blow up on the Titans. That's what I'm thinking, Cam. I'm thinking that, Cam. Sorry, let me just answer Jackson's question real quick. Stay with Wandale. I know Boutte is getting a lot of hype. Keishawn Boutte, Keishawn Booty. What do you guys prefer, Boutte or Booty? I feel like it's Boutte. I feel like there's a little bit of something there. There should be an accent over the E or something. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a Mayan or Aztec sacrifice vibes in this Jets game. It feels like Fields is going to be given to the Sumerian gods to keep the Sumerian gods happy, right? Because we need a good harvest this year. It just feels to me like ownership for the Jets has harvest in mind. They need a good harvest in 2026. They need Fields to... they need the blood of Justin Fields to drip down the pyramids for the gods. I think I took that bit a little bit too far. Yeah, sending him to Cincy with no O-line. Yeah, but dude, Cincy's defense. I'm going to be honest with you, Cam. I'm going to be honest with you. I have Justin Fields on one of my teams, and I am considering starting him over Caleb and Jackson Dart. I'm already starting Mason Taylor. Like, I'm seeing the best case scenario play out. I'm seeing Justin Fields run for 2 touchdowns, more designed runs. I believe I saw a tweet. I can't believe I'm even doing this. I can't believe I'm doing a sleuth. I can't believe I'm doing a detective sleuth on Justin Fields being a good start. He's not a good start. He's going to get me 4 points if I start him, honestly. Listen, I'm just going to paraphrase the tweet that I saw. It was probably from like a dude with 1 follower and like an anime profile pic. But he basically said that coaches around the league believe that Fields, yes, isn't a high end passer, not even a low end passer. He's just an end passer. But designed runs would really make it tough on defenses if they were to do a lot more designed runs, and that coaches in the league are confused as to why the coaching staff doesn't use him as more of a wildcat. Essentially, he's a Ricky Williams, Ronnie Brown, right? Was it Ricky Williams or Ronnie Brown, or was it both of them that did the wildcat? I can't even remember. I just remember those Miami Dolphins games back in was it the Chad Pennington days? Maybe even before that, where basically they had these 2 fucking crazy ass, super fast, super dynamic running backs, both of them running wildcat, if I remember. But Brycey Duard. What's up, Bryce? Welcome, brother. Derrick Henry or Rashad White? Derrick Henry or Rashad White. So Derrick Henry gets the Bears defense, but Bryce, let's take a deeper look at this Bears defense, man. Because if you just look at Sleeper, you're not going to get the answers you seek, bro. You just see that green matchup. Oh, the Bears give up a lot of points to running backs, right? Derrick Henry seems like a smash play. And then you see that in the last 2 weeks, since the bye, the Bears defense are the number 2 team in the NFL against running backs. They've given up 9 fantasy points a game. Now, is it fake? Is it fake? They played against Alvin Kamara, who went 11 for 28. They played against, let's have a look, Washington. And keep in mind, Krosky Merritt was kind of on a little bit of a heater coming out of week 5, right? He goes 17 for 61, his most inefficient day. The Bears defense got healthy over the bye week, brother. And we're having Derrick Henry going into a game against the Bears defense, who has really caught a second wind. They caught a second wind. They got healthy. They've been smashing running backs these past 2 weeks. Now, the Ravens' offensive line is not very good. Lamar Jackson will not be there. Snoop Huntley is a, Dollar Tree version of Lamar. And when I say Dollar Tree, I mean like the old Dollar Tree when things truly were $1. Things are now like $3.99. Fucking thanks, Trump. And with all that being said, Bryce, on the other side of this conversation, we got Rashad White in a positive game script. Assuredly, right? They're going to be winning. Like, let's be honest. I think the Bears probably win the game. Even though Baltimore's still a favorite, I do think the Bears are going to win. That immediately throws Henry into the dream dimension, right? He's in the shadow realm. He doesn't even see the field when they're losing. And without Lamar, I truly just think the Bears win this game. And the Buccaneers, going to be winning. And the Saints are pretty bad against running backs, right? They're 23rd worst. Go with Rashad White there, Bryce. I mean, Cameron already kind of gave you the input to go with Rashad White. I agree. I'd go with White. I know that sounds fucking crazy to bench Derrick Henry. Look, bro, I can be fully wrong, right? The Bears this could be fluky, right? They played against 2 whatever teams. I mean, not whatever. The Commanders are not whatever, but yeah, dude, I'd start Wandale over Butte. I don't know if I finished that thought, Jackson. My bad, dude. You can tell this is a Bush League production we got going on here. I would start Wandale because I do think this can be a back and forth game. Giants Eagles. Jackson Dart seems to be him, and Wandale is their best wide receiver, while Butte is super low volume, right? Like, are you going to feel confident starting? Damn, you picked up Colson Loveland. Bitch. Are you going to feel super confident starting Butte? Let's look at what he's done. 5 targets, 2 targets, bro. He's yet to break 5 targets since week 1. I know he's getting touchdowns the past couple weeks, but usually you want to go for volume, right? Damn, London inactive? No way. I got to update my Megalobull lineup. All right, Mooney. Get in there, brother. I made a trade in the Megalobull League, by the way, if anybody gives a fuck. I traded away Chase for Egg Big Boo and Drake London. I'm 6-8. Like, Chase, I'm not gonna win the Megalobull, right? There's no way. So I just traded Chase away. Maybe Guza can win it for this. I figured, you know what, London, Egg Big Boo is pretty decent. Yeah, let's go over inactives, man. I think I was in the midst of answering somebody else's question, wasn't I? Bryce. Mr. Deward. Bryce left a long time ago, dude. I'm trying to trade Henry for Jamar plus a piece. If you can trade Henry for Jamar plus a piece, I'd definitely do it. And yeah, I'd start Wandale, whoa, London inactive. Too many mouths in New England. Exactly, dude. Jackson, you're already throwing in the towel, dude. Don't throw in the towel, brother. Let's go over some inactives. That's a fantastic idea from Cameron. Cam the man. Typically, I go to NBC Sports. Then we do fantasy football. I didn't want salmon. DeAndre Swift active. Lenore for the San Francisco 49ers is out. Why are we getting reports on Malik Neighbors expected to undergo surgery? Christian Watson active. Tyra Taylor inactive. Justin Fields will be starting for him. Mooney over Golden with London out. Yeah, B-Mags. Back to that question. I think you probably go Mooney. I sent a trade out for Mooney late last night, 9 hours ago. I sent a trade Downs for Mooney. I need it desperately this week, dude. I'm starting fucking Bust Up Magoo, Chingus McDingus. I'm starting 2 tight ends, both of which are bad. Downs in a positive game script. He's probably going to get 2 targets. I was desperate. I sent Downs for Mooney. It's just been sitting in his inbox. He's probably not going to accept it at this point. I'd start Mooney over Golden, man. For sure. Wide receiver 1, right? Can you even name a wide receiver behind Mooney? It's not Ray McLeod. He got dropped. Where's a good place to find like all inactives? Is it just sleeper news, I suppose? Drake London is out. Tua Tagovailoa is probably playing, although he's dealing with a little bit of an illness. Can't throw-itis. Christian Watson, or can't see-itis. He's got some glaucoma. Christian Watson expected to make his season debut. He's going to play, but again, how consequential is it going to be in fantasy? Not so much, probably. Mertz, the fucking prime minister of Germany. Not prime minister. What do they call it here? I live in Germany. I don't even know what they call them. Dude, nobody is as frat. Nobody is even close to the amount of frat that Jackson Dart is. Let's see. Mertz, U of Florida. Let's see how frat this dude is. Damn, this dude's pretty frat. Damn, he's got the fucking 16-year-old soccer player haircut too. Holy shit, this dude's got the 16-year-old soccer player haircut. Legend. I need help from the chat. I need some sit star advice from you guys. Would you start Chimmery DK? That's already I'm already down. I already lost, right? Chimmery DK in a very negative game. Okay, let me present the situation to you guys. Chimmery DK, negative game script. The Indianapolis Colts, who they are playing, are one of the worst teams against slot wide receivers. Keep that in mind. He's been seeing more of the field, increasing snap share. Ridley out. He outproduced Ao Maynor last week. In practice, he was getting a lot of out wide snaps. I think 67% of his catches came like 20 yards down the field over at Florida. So fucking Sir Gantos is on the same wavelength, man. Cameron, Dart or Knicks? You got to start Knicks, bro. You got to start Knicks this week, dude. Look at that over-under, man. Look at that damn over-under, dude. We got a 51.5 over-under. Broncos being a slight favorite. The Cowboys secondary is atrocious. He's coming off 40 points. But anyway, back to what I was saying real quick. DK or Josh Downs is essentially the debate. Like, I don't like Josh Downs in positive game script. He just doesn't do enough. Like, every game that they blew the team out, like against Miami, blowout, 49% snaps. Tennessee, blowout, 51% of snaps, only 3 targets. Rams, I was back and forth, didn't see a lot. Vegas, also handily, they handily won the game. He saw 8 targets, though. It just seems like Downs, his ceiling is just like non-existent, while DK, in a game where he was still really a part-time guy, the thing is he's their downfield guy, right? So that's why I'm like, I kind of want to start DK over Downs, dude. I have some time to think about it. I guess I can see how the 6 p.m. games go and make the decision. But I need someone to give me a second opinion, man. Watson and Golden are going to play. Yeah. They're definitely playing, but the question is, do you want to start any of them? I can't believe he swooped Loveland. I was thinking about last second picking him up. Yeah, Hendrickson is a go. I saw that one as well. Why is this UX so horrible? Christian Kirk out. Dalton Schultz starting. Nico Collins out. Ayuk. Practice window has been opened. Player news. Here we go. Hunter Renfrow inactive. Jalen Coker. Usage spike. Breece Hall active officially. There goes our Isaiah Davis stream. Matt Milano out. That's interesting. Matt Milano's one of their only good run stoppers. Jalen Noel is definitely worth a last minute start. I just think, Jackson, if you start Noel, there's a chance that you get let down. Like, it would be in the team's interest to get him work. Look, man, I'm debating Chimere DK, right? I think Jalen Noel is probably in a better spot. So definitely you can start Jalen Noel. I guess it just depends who you're going to start him over, bro. Let me know who you're thinking of starting him over, and I'll give you my advice. Yeah, Matt Milano's been out. He's one of their best. That's actually significant, man, because he's one of their better run stopping running linebackers. He's like one of the only guys with some speed. Definitely doesn't have the same type of closing speed he used to have, but start Rico Dowdle, start Chuba Hubbard, both of them, right? Joshua Palmer is out. Wow. Joshua Palmer is out, man. I'm starting Khalil Shakir, so I love to hear that, right? I'm hopefully, you know, the Panthers, who are not very good against slot, or they play a lot of zone coverage. I think Khalil Shakir is a good start this week. London is inactive. That is crazy, bro. Graham Mertz inactive. Browns declared Shedeur Sanders inactive. Anything else of significance? Kincaid is in. Kincaid's also a good start. The Panthers play a lot of zone, one of the highest in the NFL. Bills have no cornerbacks, that's for sure. Jackson, let me know who you have to start, because I want to start DK. It's very irresponsible to do it. I'm going to essentially wait and see how this goes. If I need like upside, if I need ceiling, I'm going to throw DK in, bro, because got to shoot for the stars, right? I'm going up against like the number one team in my league. So I'm going to see how it goes and throw in DK if I need the ceiling. But let me know who you're thinking of starting him over, because it could be irresponsible. Swift is active. Purdy out. We knew that. Gross Matos out. Malik Neighbors getting surgery. Sanders out. Anything else? I feel like we've seen most of these already. Watson in. Matthew Golden in. Jerry Jones sucks. Dude, such a funny headline. Cowboys are looking for some defensive help. Man. Wow. Raiders would trade Jacoby Myers only if they felt they're getting a strong value in return. Yeah, fucking obviously. Ravens getting investigated by the NFL. That was a weird, definitely an interesting way that practice week went down. Looked like Lamar was going to start. Tua is definitely sick and ill. JJ McCarthy ankle expected to start in week 9. Okay. This was an insane report. I don't know if you guys saw that the Jaguars are listening on calls for Brian Thomas Jr. I saw a follow-up to that where the Jaguars said, no, we're definitely not. But crazy. The fall-off that Brian Thomas Jr. has experienced, man. I might have to do a video about him specifically this week. Anything else, man? I know, dude. Wentz and Chauncey Billups, man. Have they ever... Check the flight logs, man. If Wentz and Chauncey Billups are ever in the same city, I need to see the flight logs. I need to see the Epstein list. All right. Let's have a look at Twitter, man. Sometimes beat reporters will come in hot with some hot tweets. Brees out? No way. Is he really? I see that he's active. Cam, I need the dossier. Send me the dossier. Send me the intel on Brees. Yeah, the cell phone usage, the Google Trends data. Brees Hall. You're sending me into a whirlwind at the moment, Cam, because I do have Isaiah Davis at the ready. Looks like he's playing. Bro, watch Alan Lazar get 2 touchdowns. Looks like he's playing, Cam. Looks like he is playing. I would have really profited from Brees Hall not playing, man. I desperately needed a spot start there. I'm a little bit sad that, dude, I dropped Colston Loveland for Mason Taylor at the last second, just with how, they're lacking receiving options. But I was like thinking about last second picking up Loveland, throwing him at the end of my bench for Fields. Like I picked up Fields to block him from my opponent, just off the off chance, because I want my opponent to start Rodgers. I'm kind of banking on that. I feel like he could have a bad game. I don't know. Anything else, dude? Any more news we need to go through, man? I know we didn't do all the matchups. We're gonna shotgun through the matchup. I don't even know if there's a lot of viewers still in here, but Jets Bengals. You want to start Brees Hall. Fields desperation could get you 28 fantasy points. Could get you 4. You can start Flacco, but I will say the Jets secondary has actually been pretty decent against quarterbacks. If I remember having a look at this recently. The Jets secondary, the Jets have only given up in the last 2 weeks 13 fantasy points to quarterbacks per week. So Brandon Phillips, what's up, brother? Welcome, man. Full PPR need a wide receiver. Debo, Pittman, Devontae Smith, and Brees Hall. Definitely Devontae Smith there, man. In full PPR. Debo is not really a volume guy, especially with McLaurin back. Pittman, winning game script. They're going to be running the fuck out of the ball. He could get a touchdown, but if you're in a PPR league, you kind of want the guy with volume plus touchdown upside. I think Smith has both of that, dude. Brees Hall could be a really negative game script early, and it doesn't seem like this team's very interested in giving him a lot of dump offs, right? Like Brees Hall, let's see his like there was a little stretch where he was getting about 5-6 targets a game, but since then we don't love to see that, man. I'd go with Devontae Smith, dude. No AJ Brown. Fire up Smith for sure. Like, this is the week, right? This is the week where you're like, holy shit. Are we going to get to see Devontae Smith as like an alpha wide receiver for once? In a potential shootout with the Giants? Like, I don't want to sit Smith, dude, because Devontae Smith just quietly being him. Quietly being him since he was drafted, dude. He's so good. Oh, you need a flex too? My bad, dude. Debo's interesting to me. Debo's definitely interesting to me against the Chiefs. It's a pretty high over-under, but they're pretty big. They're pretty big underdogs, man. What is that, like an 18-point projection for them? Yeah, bro. AJ Brown is out. He's out this week. You know what, bro? Go with Devontae Smith and Brees Hall at flex. Devontae Smith and Brees Hall. Let me explain why I wouldn't do Michael Pittman. So, just real quick, where is it? All right, so the Colts are fucking 2 touchdown favorites over the Titans. Damn. Damn. The Titans currently are super bad against running backs, bro. 30th worst against running backs. They're going to give up so many damn points against running backs. Jonathan Taylor, Giddens, my uncle Muhammad, just anybody, dude. Come on in. Come on in, dude. Throw a jersey on. Throw a fucking, a practice jersey on. Get in the game, dude. Run for 6 yards per carry on the Titans. So, Michael Pittman, dude, he could just very well be run blocking the whole game. So, Breece Hall at least is going to be against a bad defense. It could be a back and forth game, dude. Flacco versus Fields. The old versus the bad. It's like a Clint Eastwood film. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. I'd go with Breece Hall at the flex. I'd go with Devontae Smith, Brandon. Hope that helps, man. Good luck, dude. Come back and let me know how it goes, dude. Or come back and tell me I fucked your week up. Caleb, Flacco, Dart. I need upside. Damn, Silva, dude. Before I answer your question, bro, what did you think about the Dodgers game, man? Tied it up. 1-1. How are you feeling? Happy to help you, Brandon. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck this week. Senor Silva. I'm gonna be honest with you, Silva. Out of those names, Caleb, because I have Caleb and Dart in my main league. I'm currently going Dart. Just when it comes to upside, like Caleb has a pretty low floor, like we saw last week, right? It seems like the Bears really want to run the ball, dude. And against the Ravens, you can really run the ball. Like we look over at the Ravens, they are 28th worst against running backs, bro. 28th against running backs. So I think the Bears are just going to be Swift, Manungai running the ball. Caleb can get you 13 fantasy points. It could be a shootout, but then you're basically asking Snoop Huntley and this horrible Ravens team to keep up with the Bears for Caleb to actually have a good game. While I think Dart is going to be playing from behind most of the game. He's going to be out running, dude. He's going to be making plays. So when it comes to upside, bro, I would go with Dart. B. Silva. I'm going Dart over Caleb. I know it's a good matchup on paper with Caleb, but I would go Dart, man. Now, Flacco, the reason I haven't even talked about him is because the Jets' defense have been pretty good against quarterbacks, man. As I mentioned, the last 2 weeks, the Jets' defense have only allowed 13 points per game to quarterbacks. I know they don't have Sauce Gardner, but this can be a game where Flacco spreads it out. Chase Brown gets a touchdown. Maybe a slightly low-scoring game where, they come back down to earth a little bit. I don't know. Jackson, dude, you are fucking Mr. Krabs World 1 HP stun locked right now, bro. You're trying to figure out what to do with you're trying to figure out what to do over here with London out, dude. I feel you, man. I'd go with 2 tight ends, Jackson. It's currently National Tight End Day. I'd go, just to give you my situation, Jackson Gantos. I'm going with Engram in this Dallas game. I want pieces of that game, right? It's a super high over-under. You got 51.5. The Broncos, one of their weaknesses is definitely against tight ends. Let's have a look, man. 8th, or no, not the Broncos, my bad. The Cowboys, where are they? Cowboys are 14th worst against tight ends. They give up about 13 points on average to tight ends. High over under, bad defense. Uh, I'm going Ingram, dude. I'm starting Ingram right here. There he is in my main league, dude. I got Ingram in. And out of those tight ends that you mentioned, Schultz is the most responsible play. I'll be honest with you. Schultz is the most responsible play. Um, he's got a shot here, man. He's got a shot in this game to hit the end zone. They don't have any pass catching options this week, bro. They don't have Nico Collins. They don't have Christian Kirk. They got a couple. They got a couple green guild rookies: Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, and Xavier Hutchinson. So Dalton Schultz last week saw 10 targets, man, 9 for 98. He might be a scam again this week. He might get in the end zone. That's the responsible play, bro. That's the responsible play. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If you need upside, if you're looking for somebody that can break the slate, that's when I'd play DK, dude. But it's irresponsible to recommend DK. I'm gonna be honest, dude. It's just like it's a whim. It's just like a little feeling that I have that maybe DK can, capitalize on just them losing the game the whole time. The Colts are really bad against slot wide receivers. He gets down the field stuff. That's why I like DK, dude. But it's irresponsible for me to tell you to start him. It's better to start the guy who gets you 10 points, right? 8 to 10 points with a chance for a touchdown, like Schultz, like Loveland even this week, than a guy like Chimere Dike who, bro, he's currently leading the NFL. He's leading the NFL in all-purpose yards. Number one. Ahead of McCaffrey. Ahead of any other player. He's number one. He is a phenomenal kick returner. Check this shit out, dude. Look at this. 144 kick return yards. 83, 162, 141. They started to use him more as a wide receiver the last couple weeks, so his kick return yardage has decreased. 3 for 84, 3 for 66. They want to use him as a wide receiver, dude. New coaching change, and we saw him finally get, down the field throws. I fucking love DK, dude. He's a athletic specimen, man. He's an athletic specimen. I talked about it in one of my videos this week. But it's irresponsible. All that to say, it's irresponsible for me to recommend him. Go with Schultz. Go with Ingram. Loveland, if you don't trust Ingram, you can go with Schultz and Loveland. But I'd personally go with Ingram. I personally go with Schultz. And if you're feeling hella desperate, you can pivot over to DK, You're going to be able to make that decision. Here's what I would do if I were you, Jackson. Put Schultz as your starting tight end. Then put Ingram on your flex, whose game's at 9:25 or whatever time for you, the afternoon game. Then you can make the decision between Ingram and DK. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of decide, all right, do I need upside? Then I'm going to go with DK. If I just need like a safe 10 points, I'm going to go with Ingram. That's what I would do, bro. That's what I would do. Yeah, Dart, Flacco, Caleb. I think that's the order I'd also choose. Cam, we got this hive mind going on, dude. We usually agree on everything. May or Daniel Jones today? What's up, Bulldog? Welcome, dude. May or Daniel Jones? All right, so Daniel Jones is currently a 14.5-point favorite against the Titans. And the Titans, as I mentioned, bro, they are 30th worst against running backs, which is actually interesting because they're 12th best against quarterbacks. They actually give up less points than usual against quarterbacks. So Daniel Jones, probably on the best team in the NFL, top 5 team in the NFL. The Colts, top to bottom, probably the best team in the NFL. I hate to admit it. I'm an ex-Colts fan. But he's liable to not having to do much in this game, bro. So I wouldn't start Daniel Jones. I'd start May. May is basically the second coming of Josh Allen. Let's just quickly have a look at the game, though. It is the Browns. It is a low over-under, but they are touchdown favorites. What is that? We got them scoring 23 points this week. Probably none of them are going to any of the running backs because the Browns are extremely good against running backs. They're also really good against quarterbacks. That's kind of a tough one, Bulldog. That's a tough one. I'm gonna be honest, man. I usually don't want any part of that Cleveland defense, man. Damn. It's basically between negative game script, dominating, versus very tough schedule or a very tough opponent. Oh, man, that's tough. Cam, I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go Daniel Jones. I'm going to go with Daniel Jones. Because we at least know that the Colts are going to put up points. We know that they're going to put up a shit ton of points. One of them could be a rushing touchdown. He could throw one to Michael Pittman, throw one to Tyler Warren early, and then he sits out, right? I understand. I just don't want, dude, I don't want to start players against the Browns, bro. I really seriously don't want to start players against the Browns. It's been confirmed at this point, dude. Every single team that plays against the Browns, they just struggle, dude. Quarterbacks, running backs, even the wide receivers, man. Nobody does shit against the Browns, dude. They are so fucking good this year. Imagine if they had a quarterback. Imagine if they had like an Aaron Rodgers. Like some older vet who's actually a little bit more capable than Joe Flacco. I mean, Joe Flacco probably could have been good for them too. Had to replace London with Franklin. F in the chat, dude. Pour one out for the Cam. For the Scat Man. For the Scott Man. Cam the Scott Man. I just gotta say it, dude. I gotta do the YouTube thing. Can you guys please like the stream? Like the stream. Costs you nothing. You can like the stream and I'll sing each time you like the stream. Check out the pipes. The pipes on the Ron Man. The Ronner. The Ronifer. What else are we doing, dude? It's 5 o'clock. 1 hour until kickoff. It's National Tight End Day. Start your tight ends, dude. I'm starting 2 of them this week. Might even YOLO start a third. You know, I might just pick up Njoku and start him as well. Might pick up Zach Ertz, throw him instead of Josh Downs. What else are we doing, man? Is this it? Is this the stream, dude? Hopefully, everybody got their questions answered. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. I think that might do it, dude. That might just do it. I just want to say, probably going to be doing more streams going forward. I've done some research and it seems like live streaming is a pretty good way to grow and get subscribers. People seem to really want to get their questions answered. So for any regulars that are still in here listening, watching, stay tuned, man. I might see if we can do some more live streams throughout the week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. You know, we'll do like Tuesday, maybe Thursday and Sunday. I feel like that's a nice little schedule. See how it goes. Find a time that makes sense. I don't know, when people are active, when people are around. Silva, what Broncos receiver will feast today? I think I did a little. I got some info on that, Silva. I got some info on that, brother. Hold up. PFF coverage, zone. Check this shit out. Jones or Dart. There I'd go Dart, Cam. There I'd go Dart. Back and forth game, divisional game. He already beat up on them. They want to get after him. They want to prove that he's bad. And I think he's gonna have another performance, man. I think he gets Slayton back, right? Slayton a little bit more of a capable X receiver, opening things up. Um, Check this shit out, dude. I did a little bit of research on the on Denver. So, uh, the Cowboys play a shit ton of zone, man. They play the fourth highest zone coverage on the year, and Cortland Sutton has struggled against man this season, man. Not necessarily struggled. It's just he doesn't produce that much against it. It doesn't seem to be the coverage that they really feed him a lot. He doesn't run a lot of routes against man. Teams don't typically play man coverage against the Broncos. Teams know that Bo Nix isn't really good against zones, so they just play so much zone against them. And when they do, Cortland Sutton, most routes, most receptions, most yards, most fantasy points. So it's going to be Sutton. Sutton's going to have a fucking massive game against the Cowboys, man. I know everybody's big on Franklin, who could also, I mean, check it out. He also runs quite a lot of routes, a lot of receptions, a lot of yards. Decent target rate. He actually out-targets Sutton against zone. So I think it's going to be where both of them can produce. But we could have a 2-touchdown Sutton game here. We can have a situation where Sutton and Franklin both get into the end zone in this one. So that's just that's what I think, Silva. I think Sutton's gonna have a big game. Marvin Mims, better against man. Or no. Well, yeah, he is better against man. 30% target rate against man. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, Sammy. Sutton and Lamb. Dude. Sutton and Lamb, you could get like 50 points combined from both of them this week, bro, because Lamb is going to be in the slot, and Pat Surtain's not going to be covering him, right? They're going to keep Lamb in the slot. Pickens is going to be the sacrificed. He's going to be the Sumerian sacrifice out there. He's going to be just having Surtain on his ass the whole game. Likely, right? Most likely. That's how the Cowboys. If the Cowboys were smart, that's how they'd play it, right? Keep Pickens out wide. Surtain will cover him. Shadow coverage. Lamb just absolutely feasting from the slot, because that's the only way you can really beat the Broncos, man. Look, both Lamb and Pickens could have tough games, because even though Lamb will be in the slot, that doesn't mean the Broncos are slouches, right? They're number one against wide receivers in general. That includes slot wide receivers, fucking out wide, X, Y, all of them. So you still feel better about, he's not going to have Surtain on him, but hell yeah, dude. Live stream with super chats, bro. I need to monetize this somehow. I don't know how I'm going to monetize this damn YouTube channel. I have like one Patreon subscriber. Going against Rice, McMillan, Metcalf. Yeah, I wouldn't feel too bad about that, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Chiefs could just be up by like 3 touchdowns early, and Rice is not going to be needed too much. Like the Commanders with Mariota. Lamb, Rice, and Jamar is my flex. All right, Cam. Put your dick away, Cam. This pissing contest is over. Put your goddamn cock away. Sir. All right, man. We're just talking bullshit at this point, dude. I think we're going to end the stream here. Thank you guys for coming, man. Thank you for showing up. You guys are goated. Hopefully I was able to help some of you guys, just give you a second opinion. I'm not an expert. Just here to throw out some stats, some data to help you guys with just sit starts. And that does it for the live stream, man. I'll catch you guys on the Discord, dude. We're going to be talking ball. If you guys want to get... Yeah, maybe one day, Cam. Maybe one day, dude, we'll do like watch along fight companions with the games. The problem is when it comes to fantasy, dude, I'm so completely like locked in on my phone. I sit in my couch, I pop some beers open, get some guacamole running. I'm just refreshing Sleeper. It's tough to do the live streams during the games. Rice on waivers. What? Come on, man. Let me get in that league, Cam. Let me get an invite, dude. Just gotta generate a link real quick. All right. Discord. Join the Discord, everybody. What's up, CR1 Stouffer? We were about to end the stream, but I'll help you out real quick. Xavier Hutchinson or Arian Smith? If you're like a big time underdog, go with Smith. If you're like truly like, you're going to lose this week if you don't get like 20 points. If you just want somebody who might get you like 6 to 8 points, Hutchinson could be the guy because he's got the most rapport. He's got the most trust at the moment out of all the wide receivers. But it could just be Higgins and Noel, right? They could push Hutchinson into irrelevance. So upside Smith, if you need some safety and like a little bit, you just need points in your lineup, go with Hutchinson. Is that a fucking like 83-man league, Stouffer? What are we doing? Yeah. Silva. So I use a combination of things, man, just to wrap this up. I use PFF, so I do like zone coverage versus man coverage, just like one data point, I want to know like who performs well against certain coverages, so I'll look at that. I'll look at over unders. I want to know which games are going to be like high scoring. So for example, we got this Colts Titans game, high scoring, but the Titans are massive underdogs. So like, all right, like I kind of fade wide receivers a little bit for the Colts, not entirely. And I'm a little bit interested in the Titans wide receivers, right? Because the Colts pretty bad against wide receiver. So that's how I do it, man. I use like a combination of different like data points to try to figure out like who to sit, who to start. It doesn't always work out. We're trying to just improve it. Like this was a season where I kind of had like, all right, dude, I'm going to go by zone versus man. I'm going to go by fantasy points against like the last couple weeks because I want to know how defenses are performing recently, like lately. And then I'm looking at, injuries and stuff. I want to know like, all right, which defenses are still intact. Like for example, the Jags have been actually like pretty good against wide receivers the last couple weeks. But Sauce Gardner is out, right? So, like, obviously you're going to start Chase, you're going to start Higgins, What's up, Wes, dude? Welcome, dude. J up, Chubb or Hendy in a must win. I'm in a must win as well, bro. Let me give you a quick answer on this one. I was about to end the stream, dude, but now everybody's coming in. I was about to end the stream, dude. Go take a piss. All right. Henderson or Chubb? Henderson or Chubb? So Chubb looks like he might be in a positive game script against the Niners. I don't know why the Texans are favorites in this game, but when they are favorites and when they're winning games, Chubb does see a healthy amount of work. But I don't know if I trust that, dude. I feel like the Niners could just win this game. But Henderson, like, are you going to feel confident starting Henderson? I saw a report, or I saw like a tweet that Vrabel said something else about the fumbling issue where Ramondre stuck the ball out before he entered the end zone. And Vrabel was like, dude, we can't keep having that shit. A dude who fumbles shouldn't be doing that. I think he like said something like that. So Henderson could get work. He could get some random work, like just no beat reporters. Nobody has talked about Henderson getting more work. I think the safest play is probably Chubb, right? Like if it's a must win, you can't win if you don't get points. Henderson is more likely to get you 0 points, right? To get you like 2 or 3 points, while Chubb, if they're if Vegas thinks they're going to win this game, Chubb should see enough work, right? So that's kind of how I have to lean, bro. I got to go Chubb there, man. I know Henderson is way more talented, and Chubb is like 63 years old, but Jennings or Bourne. I'm going Jennings there, ice cold. I'm definitely going Jennings there. Like when we look at Jennings last week, 7 targets, didn't do too much with them compared to Bourne. Only saw 2 targets, bro. So with Kittle, oh my bad. With Kittle, with McCaffrey, with Jennings, with Mac Jones, Bourne was the odd man out. Things could change. At the end of the day, you don't really want to start any of these guys against the Texans, if I'm honest. But out of them, Jennings has the higher chance of seeing volume. I mean, he saw the volume. He's one more week healthy. I know Mac Jones and Bourne have that connection, but I'm going to go with Jennings, dude. We know what he's capable of, right? Going back to last season, he had that 41-point game. Like, we know that Jennings, when healthy, is a really good wide receiver. So I'm going to go there, chase the volume, chase the guy who's a little bit more established on the team. Keep in mind, Kendrick Bourne was picked up off waivers by this team like 3 weeks ago. Mooney, Waddle, Marks, Wesley. Sorry you missed the stream, bro, but welcome. Mooney, Waddle, Marks. Say that 3 times fast. So we talked about Mooney earlier, dude. I feel like Mooney is probably a must start with Drake London out. The concern here is that the Falcons just run all over the Dolphins and that Mooney is not going to be too needed. But I think this could sneakily be a closer game than we expect. They're only touchdown favorites. So, yeah, man, you don't really want to start anyone against the Browns, right? Especially not running backs. It's just, when we look at the Browns against running backs, number 2 in the NFL against running backs, I don't want to start anyone against the Browns, bro. So, go with Chubb. He's just safer. Wes, we were talking about Mooney, dude. I think he might be a must start in this game. Waddle against the Falcons secondary, who just, they've been dominating all season, man. Like, they are number 2 against wide receivers on the season. They don't allow a lot. So you're basically going with the worst player on a better offense who also has the better defense, right? So if that makes sense. So that's why, like, usually you'd start Waddle over Mooney for sure. But in this particular matchup, I think you have a better shot at Mooney seeing... Mooney's going to have a better chance at production, while Waddle's going to have to overcome that defense, right? He's going to have to overcome it, but could be a closer game. I don't want to start Marks in a game that the Texans are expected to win the game, bro, in a low over-under. So in a low over-under, the Texans coaching staff already said that we see Woody as a third down back, as a up-tempo back. We see Nick Chubb as our between the tackles early down back and positive game scripts. They straight up told us that, right? So I'd go with Mooney and then come back to this video when Waddle catches a 60-yard bomb touchdown. And I will apologize to you, Wes. All right, boys. That does it, man. Any last minute news? Probably nothing, huh? Probably nothing. All right, man. That does it. Hope you guys like the stream. Thank you again. Like the stream if you can. Yeah, if you can, like the stream. Just helps reach more people, man. We're trying to hit the 3K subs this season. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll see what's up. All right, SMH, thanks for stopping by, man. Hope you enjoyed it. J Up, thank you for the questions, man. Wesley, thanks for popping in at the end of it. Ice cold, if you're still here. Good luck, dude. Good luck to everybody in your weeks. Hope you guys win your matchups. Hope your teams pop the fuck off, but none of the dudes that I'm going against. And I'll catch you guys on Monday. Peace.